Well, it looks like Carmelo is allowed to graduate, and whites are mad. Welcome back, folks. It's Trails, and you know what we do. First, we make sure we hit that like, and then we hit that subscribe. We got some outrage news to report on about the Karmelo Anthony situation. And we got Daily Mail has beat everyone to the punch with this one. Of course, they're raging. Teen killer Karmelo Anthony allowed to graduate from high school while on bail for brutal stabbing. An alleged teen killer accused of stabbing a sporting rival in cold blood has been thrown another bone after being granted bail. Karmelo Anthony has now been told he could graduate from high school, Daily Mail can reveal. Frisco Independent Schools District about face deciding Anthony, 17, can graduate from Centennial High School despite his first-degree murder charge, as confirmed by his advisor and spokesman, Dominique Alexander, at dailymail.com. The reversal is likely to be controversial if you're white. The murder case has become a flashpoint about race and privilege and garnering national attention. Anthony is accused of stabbing Austin Metcalf in the chest after the Memorial High School student confronted Anthony about sitting under the Memorial team tent at a track meet in Frisco, Texas on April 2nd. Metcalf bled out in his twin brother's arms. Meanwhile, Anthony, who initially fled the track meet after the stabbing, later told arresting officers, "I did it." Now he is claiming self-defense. "We are in arrangements of doing an early graduation," Alexander confirmed. They have agreed to allow him to graduate. However, Frisco ISD had initially expelled Anthony, according to Alexander, and were outraged over Metcalf's killing spread like wildfire in the upscale community where both teams attend different schools. "They were literally trying to expel him, period," Alexander explained. An expulsion would have automatically meant he would not graduate. Alexander and the teen's parents held what turned out to be a dramatic press conference April 17, where Metcalf's father showed up to uninvited, and was escorted out by police officers. During that media availability, the Anthonys claimed they were victims of racist death threats and complained Anthony would not be able to complete his high school education. Hours after the press conference, Alexander says the school district sent word that the embattled teen and former football track star will be allowed to graduate. However, he would not be able to participate in the May 22nd graduation ceremony or walk the stage. "We're not asking for accommodations. We're asking for him to be part of any. We're not asking for him to be part of any activities or anything," Anthony's fixers said. He went on to claim that Anthony had a 3.7 GPA at the time of the April 2nd murder. High enough grades that he could still graduate even without completing any more schoolwork. Frisco ISD declined to comment, citing student privacy laws. However, the move is likely to anger many in the community. Outrage spread after the teen's bond was lowered from $1,250,000 to securing Anthony's release from jail. During the bond hearing, Anthony's father testified about their financial hardship since his son became a murder suspect. Daily Mail exclusively reported that $900,000 home in the gated community the Anthonys were renting while claiming to be poor. Never heard that part. Not good, not good. I don't think he should be out. I don't understand why he had a knife. My kids were in a track. Your tent for your school. You don't sit under another school's tent. That is not done because everyone leaves their stuff there while they're out on events, one neighbor told. Why would you stab someone? and now he's a few doors down. It's very scary. Like, could he rob houses? I don't know. Uh, the neighbors told DM they didn't want Anthony living in their exclusive enclave. The best thing they could do is move, another neighbor added. I think that would be best for everyone. Anthony, who was under house arrest, eventually did not leave the house in the gated community. I mean, he did leave the house, claiming that his address had been leaked online and he was no longer safe there. He is now serving out the rest of his house arrest at an undisclosed location. However, the murder suspect enjoys a great deal of support with the online fundraiser sent by his mom, collecting over $500,000 so far. As of Monday afternoon, $528,382.17 probably have been donated to the family on the Gifts and Go platform. Memorial High School, where Metcalf would have been graduated from if he were still alive, is scheduled to hold its ceremony May 23rd. Yeah, this is a weaponized. All right, we on my opinions about this article. It's very weaponized. It's very hateful. I think, who wrote this shit? Marianne Martinez. Yeah, this lady is racist as hell. She Mexican, so she gotta do whatever she can to please that white base, which is, oh my God, Marianne, you kind of went hard. I don't ever remember the Anthonys claiming to be poor. They were already living in a pretty prestigious neighborhood, going to a pretty prestigious school. He was able to live in the same neighborhood as Austin Metcalf, which that act alone requires some type of financial capability. So it's not about being poor and needing help. You don't have to be poor to need help from someone. That's the problem. And there's a lot of weaponized going on in this. And her bringing up what the neighbors say, what the neighbors think, first off, nobody cares. It's like, if you think that I care, that you go in the comments to disagree with what I say or any, I don't care. You know, we don't care. And we're not going to care. And Karmelo Anthony is a human being. He has the right to defend himself the same way a human being does. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if you're white. You can die by a black guy if you deserve to die by a black guy. If you commit a crime or try to end someone's life, that is an equal situation. There is no human being that is any different than any other when it comes to color. So the problem with this whole situation is a lot of people don't want to give the man the humanity that he deserves to even give him the legal standing to say it's self-defense. They don't look at him as a human being. They don't look at him as an equal. And we all know that. And we don't care. I mean, like all of this, black fatigue, and, you know, get putting 200 comments into my video, like, I'm just going to reply to them, ask questions, keep going. It don't affect me. I mean, I don't care. He did what he's supposed to do. I do the same thing in the heartbeat without thinking twice. It wouldn't matter if this sailor was black. It wouldn't matter if he was white. It wouldn't matter if he was Spanish. It wouldn't matter if he was blue. Everyone has a God-given right to protect themselves from danger. You get what I'm saying? And some of us, we only follow God's law. You follow man's law, and good luck with that. But in a world where law is just in the rule, the lawless man is God. Just remember that, because that's how it is. So when you look at what's right and what's wrong, bruh, what does the Bible say? That's the way I look at it. And as far as I'm concerned, you got the two big bullies who weren't even supposed to be there anyways, because they're not track stars. Bullying, intimidating, trying to jump the man, he could stab him. He didn't have a knife. It was a cleat cleaner. A knife-like item. It's actually pretty sharp. can be and longer than a knife. So before we even take it there, a man is allowed to defend himself. There's no, oh, if I'm in Minnesota, I'm gonna react to this defense any different than here. Nope. And shame on the Daily Mail for this weaponized article. I mean, you can disagree with the situation, with the outcome, but for you to weaponize the material that you're supposed to give to people with an open mind, and then the assumption for them to actually learn something as far as news and information, but it's reeking full of fragility, that's a disservice to the people. It's no longer, this shouldn't constitute as media. This is propaganda weaponized in a media based format, because it's not bipartisan. It's partisan as hell. It's, hey, team killer. No, it could self-defender. You know what I'm saying? And then the part right here was this part in the article. Where is it? He went on to claim that Anthony had a 3.7 GPA. Like that's like out of the fucking possibility for a black man to have. My 16-year-old has a 4.0 right now. So, and he's in the 10th grade. So it is not an impossible feat for someone to have. I graduated 2001, class of Arlington Senior High School. Guess what? 4.0 GPA. I may have went and did some things after that, but nonetheless, I still graduated. So for this little, I don't know what that lady, Martinez lady, to weaponize that, that's wrong or something, the judge wouldn't check that when it came to deliberating this, any of this stuff. It's crazy. They got his school records. You're just mad because it says that he's a good kid. They wanted to frame him as some gang-banging little thug and little criminal. You get what I'm saying? That's why you see teen killer, teen killer, teen killer. You didn't see that with Rittenhouse. You saw Kyle Rittenhouse, Kyle Rittenhouse, Kyle Rittenhouse. You get what I'm saying? And that's the way they do it. If they keep saying teen killer, it, subconsciously goes into your head, and you're thinking, oh, it wasn't self-defense that he killed. He's just a killer. You get what I'm saying? And that's what they do. That's why we say fuck them and fuck you. We ain't gonna stop doing what we doing. We just gonna continue it. If you want to cry, bitch, and moan and complain along the way, be my guest. But I don't care. I'm glad the man free. I'm glad the man was able to graduate. And I can't wait for him to be acquitted for these charges so he could go ahead and go back to living life ever so fabulously. And what say you in the comments? Oh, wait, I don't care. But make sure you hit that like and you hit that subscribe. Also, check out that big-ass red Cash App emblem up there, because all these white supremacists really hate when I post a tweet, hey, someone sent me $5. Hey, somebody sent me a dub. You know what I'm saying? They hate that. So any little support I could get to put in their faces the same way they put all that money in Shiloh Hendrix meth smoking ass in our face, let's do it, and I will do it. But yeah, that's all for this one, folks. Make sure you hit that like and you hit that subscribe, and you know what that equals. Deuce.